The Wealth Advocates simplify the financial world and show you how today's events could affect your financial health so you feel confident about your financial future.
Good morning, Wealth Advocates Nation. It's great to be back with you. I'm Patrick Jenkins. I am here with Ammon Doman, advisor extraordinaire, to walk through tax planning and tax saving. It's end of year when we're recording this, Ammon, and we're really in that sweet 6 months of tax planning. The last part of the year, what should you do before the year ends? And the first part of the year, how do I elect my employee benefits, correct?
That's correct.
So great time to have that conversation and do some training on what people should be watching for. So what are tips that you give employees and self-employed about tax planning?
Yeah, really. So in each situation, it's going to be different, right? So you have, when you're looking at your situation, you take a look at how much your earned income, essentially it's a factor of how much earned income you have during the year. So review that and then take a look at what tax bracket you're going to be in, and then whether it makes sense to essentially make a contribution to a retirement account, take a tax deduction, and different things like that.
Okay, so not all things remain equal, right? So
Right.
different accounts have different advantages to them or different limits on what they can put in.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have a 401k through work, which is a higher contribution, but their non-working spouse could participate in a retirement plan too. Well, tell me more about that.
That's correct. That would be an IRA contribution.
Okay.
So individual retirement account, and whether or not your spouse works, you can make those contributions. The limits on that in 2023 are $7,000, and so you can get $7,000 in, take a tax deduction on that $7,000 that you put in.
And then inside that, there's even some complicated, more not necessarily complicated, but more advanced opportunities like health savings accounts, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And only if your health insurance accommodates a health savings, right?
That's right.
What do I need to know about that?
Yeah, you essentially have to have a high deductible insurance plan. And so high deductible, remind me, Patrick, that's the limits on that.
It could be as low as $3,000.
Right.
There's a whole verse on what high deductible is now.
Right.
So, but we could get as much as $8,750 in that if we're over 55 years old.
Right.
If the employer's putting some money in, our contribution limits are lower, but this is one of the great tax strategies because who doesn't need health care during the course of a year?
Right.
Might as well get it tax-free, right?
That's right.
So I think that's a great planning tip as well. What about Roth conversions? What should we know there?
Roth conversions, yeah, that's a great tool. That's a great tip. Roth conversions, essentially, you're taking pre-tax money that you've taken a tax deduction on before, and then converting that and put into Roth money. Mm-hmm. That transaction is not penalized, but it is taxable to you. So be careful about how much you do in each given year, because you don't want to push yourself into a higher tax bracket by doing that.
That's a great point. And one other consideration that a lot of our viewers may not be aware of is the Tax Cuts Jobs Act. It's a tax law that went into effect in 2018. It expires, or I like the political term, it sunsets
right.
on January 1, 2026. So inevitably what that means is our tax rates are going up in 2026, January 1, 2026. So you articulated very well that converting to a Roth IRA may impact your tax bracket,
right.
But in light of the fact that the tax code is changing in January 1, 2026, there's still a window of opportunity to take advantage of some of these lower tax rates, right?
That's correct.
So a lot of good things going on there. Any big takeaways for our listeners on what they should be doing right now?
Yeah. So right now, taking a look at your tax situation, what tax bracket you're in. If you have questions for us, feel free to give us a call. Take a look at our link, schedule an appointment with us to kind of talk through your situation.
Love it. Like Ammon said, in the link below in the description on this video, we're going to put a checklist of things that people should look at for their tax planning, end of year and beginning of year. And if you'd like to visit with us more, you can see us at wealthadvocates.com or give us a call at 435-755-9400. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to The Wealth Advocates. Join us every month by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. You can also look for The Wealth Advocates on Stitcher and YouTube. Want more information about today's topics? Reach out to John or Patrick directly by visiting wealth-advocates.com.